I'm Steve Burk. Welcome to my studio and welcome to the Road to Rock. Yes, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's and whatever the hell you might think you are. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to take you on a road to the unknown. I have no idea where this is going to go, how it's going to start, and how it's going to end. But it'll be fun to find out. Anyways, no, it's not 1984. Even though it'd be great if it was. It's September 7th, 2017. Yes, people still do have long hair. Yep. How horrible, isn't it? I think it's great. Short hair is not for me, never was. People are like, oh, Steve, you're stuck in the 80s. No, I'm actually stuck in the 70s. But no, long hair was never a fashion thing for me. It's just an expression of who I am on the inside. So, this is me. So you may be asking yourself, Steve, what the hell is this Road to Rock? Well, it's exactly that. It's a Road to Rock. I'm a singer-songwriter here in Canada, Ontario, Canada, Kitchener, city of Kitchener, home of the second largest Oktoberfest. I was born and raised in London, Ontario, which is an hour south of here. But now I'm living here in Kitchener. I just finished writing and recording numerous songs and always writing and recording. It's always going to be a process. So now I think it's time to find some musicians, take it on the road to see what happens. You never know what's going to happen unless you try. So yes, the project can be entitled Burk, which is my last name. It looks cool. Chances of anyone else having that name, it's pretty slim, so I'm going to use that name. So welcome, come along to this journey to the unknown. We're going to try and find the road to rock. Hopefully it doesn't lead to polka or country. That would be ridiculous. Yes, road to rock, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see where this goes.
Stephen Charles Burk is the name I was given. I was born in London, Ontario, Victoria Hospital on February 23rd, 1964. Mother Barbara Burk, and my father was Dr. Larry Burk. So I was born and raised in London, Ontario, Canada, also known as the Forest City, beautiful city in southwestern Ontario, Canada. The Burke family lived in Edmonton, Alberta, and then moved to London, Ontario, living on Viscount, and then moving to 11 Royal York Road, London. And I remember living here very well, a lot of memories of my dad. I remember living there, even though I was only from age 1 to 4. It's amazing what you can remember. Then sadly, in October of 1968, the Burke family's life took a drastic turn to a darker page. Dr. Larry Burke allegedly shot himself while parked in his Volkswagen van at Ippawash Beach, Ontario, Canada. He was found slumped over the steering wheel by park rangers. His remains reside at Woodland Cemetery in London, Ontario, which I visit frequently.
Well, it's absolutely crazy that my dad would even want to kill himself. Here he is, a successful surgeon, doctor with 5 kids. He was even having a yacht being built. The police told my mom that there was evidence of blackmail. He also said that this guy named Charles Kingsley was after him for money. So did this guy kill my dad because he couldn't get away with the blackmail? It's hard to say. They say it was suicide, but guess we'll never know now.
So shortly after my dad's death, the Burke family picked up and moved just a block away in a beautiful new home at 788 Manchester Road, London, Ontario. Here we have much more room, 4 bedrooms, 3 levels, big yard. It was a great place to raise a family. The winters in the early 70s were amazing in London. Tons of snow. We had a great large yard that backed into a park that had a hill great for tobogganing. But life wasn't always great during the early 70s. Numerous times, us kids were placed into children's homes, the first being the Salvation Army around 1968, 69, pretty much right after my dad died. Then the second was Thames Valley Family Service Children's Aid, which is on Woodward Ave in London, Ontario. That was the fall of 1969. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in kindergarten. It was the fall. I'm wearing pajamas, ready for bed. Then we're woken up, put in the cab, still wearing pajamas, holding my teddy bear, whisked away to a strange building with strange kids, put into rooms with numerous beds. Then I remember waking up in the morning and some horrible girl says to me, "You don't belong here." And I thought, holy shit, what the hell is going on? It was traumatizing. Then there was Marymount Children's Home, a place we went to around 1972-73 on numerous occasions.
Oh yes, lovely Marymount. Wasn't that a great chapter in our life? Not. Yeah, we were put in there a few times. My mom had an operation here or there, broken leg, I believe. But sometimes there was no way I was supposed to be in there. My older brothers got to be home, and I think it was just me and my younger brother. This is around 1973. I remember I was in grade 3. Stayed there for a bit, and there was another time where it was around Christmas, because I remember being there for Christmas Eve, and we're getting presents handed out, and then my mom shows up at night on Christmas Eve to take us home, which is cool, yet odd timing. You know, it's nighttime, you're pretty much thinking your Christmas is going to be fucked. But we did get good presents from there.
So being in a children's home is definitely traumatizing to any child, and but it wasn't always traumatizing. It was fun. You could cope. You managed. But at nighttime, when kids are in bed, even the toughest kids were crying for their mommy at night. I was quite surprised to even realize that. I know I was, but when you hear the tough kids crying for their mommy, you know we're all the same in the end.
Yeah, I remember the golden phrase at Marymount was, "Are you going home for good?" So parents would show up and visit, and then you pray to God that you're going home for good. Like, they're coming to get you and take you home. So that was a golden phrase. I remember that. Like, "Are you going home for good?" Pretty sad. Wow, my life is off for a great flying start. Fantastic. My dad supposedly shoots himself. We're shoved into children's homes. Not so bad, right? Not even 10 years old. All this action, unbelievable. Now things should be smooth sailing, right? Well, sort of.
During the early 70s, at our new house on Manchester Street, we had numerous occasions where we had people creeping around the house late at night. One time, I was sleeping on the couch with my mom. I had the flu. This is in the family room on the main level, and I was awoken by a flashlight shining in the window. Another time was Christmas morning. We're sleeping by the tree. It's around 6 a.m. We hear a noise, open up the curtain, and there's a man standing by the window staring in, dressed very much like Jack the Ripper, without the top hat. He gets startled and limps away.
Oh yeah, I remember that very well. 3 different occasions. During the early 70s, for some reason, someone was snooping, some people were snooping around the house. We'd see tracks in the snow. I remember laying on the couch with my mom. I had the flu or something. It's in the family room, main level, and woken up with the flashlight shining in the window. Another time was Christmas morning, 6 in the morning, really early in the morning. We hear a noise outside the window. We open up the curtain, and there's this guy that looks like the Ripper. Like, it really did. Like, I swear he had a cape on, and he kind of limped off. Which, what the hell is that?
Well, that mysterious person could very well be Glenn Fryer. Glenn Fryer was a suspected murderer of many young women in and around London, Ontario. From 1968 to 1973, London was a favorite playground for pedophiles, rapists, and murderers. Perhaps not such a great place to raise a family. Jackie English, a 15-year-old girl, was murdered. Her mother was a maid at my mum's house. And Glenn Fryer even called her at my mum's house. Very odd. Glenn Fryer was suspected of stabbing Mrs. Harrison, who was a key witness to this murder, 27 times. Mrs. Harrison was stabbed 27 times while she sat in a car on Aubrey Road, London. She had taken her dog to the scene for exercise. A man sat in the car while she waited and then attacked her. Her screams brought the dog back, which then began attacking the man, biting his leg. The police of London OPP said that the woman had complained to police prior to the attack that she had been receiving threatening phone calls.
Oh yes, Glenn Fryer is a name we heard a lot of times during the early 70s from our mother. This guy would always drive by our house. I remember his car very well, a small white sedan with a torn sticker on the driver's side door. My mum would always point it out as he drove by, going, "Don't ever go near that car." That was very odd. He didn't even live in the area. What's he doing driving by our house? There was a time in the early 70s, I was in grade 2 or something like that, coming home from school. Basement door is open, unlocked. Not unusual. It's the early 70s. Everyone did that. So I come home, go into the basement door, and then I hear footsteps in the kitchen, which is right above me, which is on the main level, which is very unusual. It's like a man's adult type shoes walking slowly towards the basement door. And I'm like, "Who's there? Who's that?" So luckily I had the wits about me to run out the basement door. I got a neighbor. I said, "There's someone in the house, someone in the house." He's like, "Oh, it's just your brothers." I go, "No, it's not. No one's home." So we go back, check it out, and sure enough, no one's in the house. I know damn well someone was walking that kitchen floor. So they obviously had enough time to get out. But that could have been a very, very different scenario if I didn't run out of that damn house. Another bizarre moment was when I was going to hockey. Riding to hockey with my mom on our bikes. Riding our bikes, I'm wearing full hockey gear. I believe my skates were still on, which is totally retarded. And she's kind of freaking out, not knowing where the arena is, so we see a car parked in the road, window rolled down. This is winter, cold as hell. Someone's reading a newspaper with the window down. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, she says to me, "Ask that man where the arena is." So I go over and lean on the door and go, "Do you know where the arena is?" And the newspaper comes down slowly, and this man with his evil grin turns slowly, like, what the fuck was going on in his mind? Anyways, it was Glenn Fryer himself. So my mom clued in, and she goes, "Oh, get away from that car right away." So she knew what his car looked like beforehand. Wouldn't she know that prior to even telling me to go ask? Why get me to ask to begin with? She should be asking. She's the adult. So I find that really strange. I don't know what the hell that was all about. We interrupt this program with new information regarding Glenn Fryer and Dr. Larry Burk. It's not necessarily new to the rest of the world, but it is to us here at Burk News. We just found out today, but it's been known for 50 years. But we are now on top of it. Glenn Fryer used to be a vice principal at CPRI in London, Ontario on Sanatorium Road, Children's Psychiatric Research Institute. Dr. Larry Burk was a physician there part-time. They were both working there at the same time, around 1968-69. Did they know each other? Is there a connection? The investigation continues. Now, back to your regular scheduled program.
It's very possible that it wasn't the same people or person snooping around the house. For one morning, we saw 2 sets of prints in the snow, one female and one male. So who could this be?
Well, we always assumed it was burglars, but it could have very well have been the police or insurance companies checking up on my mom, because it is kind of odd that my dad dies shortly after he gets life insurance of $200,000.
Another possible suspect, Charles Kingsley, the scammer, who tried to blackmail my dad out of money. After my dad's death, Charles Kingsley called my mum at the new house. Very odd. She told him, never call again or I'll call the police.
So was it Glenn Fryer, the suspected murderer, the Charles Kingsley guy who tried to get money out of my dad, or were it insurance companies, private investigators, or the police? We'll never know. Oh! Whoa! That was some scary stuff, eh, kids? Nothing like real-life memories to scare the living shit out of you. And Halloween's just around the corner, just a week away. Imagine that. So was life always this crazy at the Burk house? No, we had some normal times too.
Life at the Burk house wasn't always crazy. Besides the many times our mum would scream our head off trying to make us her personal slave to clean the house and do all the gardening, it wasn't all that bad compared to other families. My brothers and I belonged to 5-pin bowling. I briefly played hockey and soccer, which was a joke. We all went to Cub Scouts, where I got all my stars and badges. My sister and the rest of us took ballet lessons. Thank God no photo evidence of that. There was wonderful nature trails in the nearby woods where we'd fish and cross-country ski. My mum baked amazing pies and coffee cakes. We enjoyed a real wood-burning fireplace. We got to live in the best neighborhood in London called Oakridge in a nicely furnished home.
Oh, hello. What are you doing here? Shoo along now. You shouldn't be around here. You trying to steal my corn? Oh, looking for the road to Rock, are you? Not the Yellow Brick Road? Well, good luck finding it nowadays. No, Rock isn't too popular, but I believe it's that away. Now go along. Now. Evening. Happy Halloween. Excuse me? The road to Rock? I believe it's over this way. Yes. Oh, second thought. Could be over here as well. What do you think, Mr. Pumpkin? Oh, could be behind me as well. We really don't have a fucking clue. I got no eyes. Why are you asking me? You should be saying trick or treat. What the hell's going on? Go run along on this Halloween evening. Oh, wow, Halloween's a hard job. Happy Halloween, everybody. Still haven't found the road to Rock, but we found lots of candy. trip. Whew. Pretty cold out. Oh man, it's November 8th now, and I just got back from Mexico. Went down to do some snorkeling, swam with some sea turtles, stingrays, and senoritas. It was great. Good times. Got away from the cold just after Halloween, split down to Mexico. It was great. But now, so what have you guys been doing? Looking for the road to rock, I suppose, eh? Well, I wasn't. I was just looking for a good beach. And I found it. Fantastic. Riviera Maya, Mexico. Pretty awesome. But after a little vacation, we'll get back to where we left off, shall we? Yes, so now, where were we? Oh yes, talking about my family past. Yes, all the crazy things that happened in my childhood, and why do I want to bore you with these stories, or perhaps you're not bored, but well, I thought it's important to let you know some of the details of my past, since the project's name is going to be Burk, which is my last name, so makes sense. And you know, it was also quite embarrassing, believe it or not, having the last name Burk, for we were kind of the laughing joke in the neighborhood, which is pretty sad to say. We lived in a good neighborhood. And, you know, my mom was a single parent. That's not really the reason, but she would like to scream her head off at us while we're doing yard work and even housework inside. Oh yes, the neighbors could still hear us inside the house. She had the reputation of injecting gasoline since she screamed so much. But it was quite impressive, her vocal ability, I must say.
Another reason why I was embarrassed to have the last name of Burk is because my mum would make us go along the roadside and in the nearby woods on the weekends and collect beer bottles, pushing a grocery cart. This was absolutely devastating when your friends would see you and be laughing their heads off. Completely embarrassing. This is the 70s, people are drinking and driving, and they're tossing the beers as we're collecting.
Oh yes, every weekend making us go along the roadside collecting beer bottles out of the ditches with our grocery cart, filling it up. It was really quite embarrassing when people would drive by and toss a beer bottle going, hey, it's the fucking Burks! Woohoo! This is the 70s, right? Everyone's drinking and driving. It's a normal thing. So that was really embarrassing. You go back to school going, hey, we saw you collecting beer bottles. Yeah, that's so great. Not. But, I mean, that's just the way it was.
So I'm tired of being embarrassed of having the last name of Burk, for I really shouldn't be. It's not fair to the kid that I was born as, or to the kid that grew up loving music, nature, and animals, to the person that I am today. It's also not fair to my dad, who was a great doctor and surgeon. Sure, he killed himself, so we're told, which lends to the embarrassment to some degree, but we don't know if that happened for sure. And if it did, who are we to judge? You must be in a horrible state of mind to even do that. It's also not fair to our grandfather, my dad's father, who was a great chemical engineer. God, he even had a cottage at Burk's Falls that we attended many summers. How great was that? Fishing, boating, it's really great. So time to embrace the name Burk and not be embarrassed anymore. For lots to be proud of.
So yes, by using my last name Burk as the name for the band, project, whatever you want to call it, is my way of embracing it, not being embarrassed or ashamed of it anymore. Be proud of it. It's kind of sad that it's taken me this long. So this is going to be the right road in the right direction to make the name what it should be and what it shouldn't have been. Yeah, so another reason why I wanted to explain some of the past of the Burk family is to maybe understand what influenced my musical taste. So, did it have an influence? Is it instinctual? Is it a fate? Or is it a product of your environment? I'm not too sure. I think most of the 70s would have probably had fucked up families then, because we all like rock. Anyway, so what got me into music first? I think it was Elvis. My brother brought home an Elvis record. I'm like, hey, that's that fucking Hound Dog guy. How did I even know that? I don't even know. Yeah, we played those albums to death. I'd play Wooden Spoons on the couch all the time to Elvis. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Woo! Yeah, we wrecked a lot of furniture with that one, that's for sure. And then, for some reason, in 1976, my birthday, my brother Shannon, oldest brother, bought me Kiss. Yes, Kiss Destroyer. I don't even know why I even bought it for me. I don't think I even talked about Kiss. I didn't even know one of their fucking songs. I remember calling the radio up going, can you play a Kiss song for me? Well, we are. You are? It was shouted out loud. I'm thinking, well, that's kind of commercial. Even for a kid. I was pretty hardcore, even not even knowing what the hell I was going to be listening to into the future. So yeah, Kiss Destroyer, great freaking album actually. Probably their best. Fuck all the rest. This is the one here. This kind of started it all. Then I went to my friend's house, saw this album. Deep Purple in rock. And they were in rock indeed. What a great fucking album. Their best album. I kept buying all their other albums, hoping to find one as good as this. Never fucking happened. Except for Made in Japan, Made in Europe, and this. Fuck all the rest. Amazing rock album. And this came out long before I was 4 years old when this fucking came out. 4 or 5, 6, I don't know. So it doesn't matter when an album came out to me. It's not about a trend, it's about what's good. It doesn't matter when the fuck it came out. Then we're listening to the radio and we hear, what the motherfuck is that? Black Sabbath, Paranoid. You hear that and you're like, holy mother shit. But yeah, I must mention that the first real rock riff I did hear was Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin. That was like, okay, that's good. It was just something born in us that we didn't even know existed, but we needed rock and needed guitar. I did anyways. So, got this amazing album. This is kind of a collection, best of Black Sabbath. We sold our soul for rock and roll with a creepy inner sleeve. Kind of creepy, kind of scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. But amazing songs. And I can't believe I got to see them in 1978 with Van Halen opening up, thanks to my friend Stephen Curtis, who lent me the $30 to go on some bus tour to Detroit to see that. I still remember it, still got the medallion, the Black Sabbath medallion, Never Say Die tour. Then I got into Queen, my neighbors were into Queen. I first bought Night at the Opera. Put the needle down and you hear, oh! I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Took it back to Walmart. It wasn't Walmart, it was Woco at the time. I didn't understand what the hell I was fucking listening to. Well, I took it back. Then I gave them another chance. I bought this album. I go, yes, this is the fucking shit. This is really, really good. Their best, well, it's not the best. It's debatable, but still, like, phenomenal guitar playing, great songs. Such a unique band. Then I became a major Queen fan. All during the 70s, bought all their albums, and even Night at the Opera. Now I understand where they're coming from, and I appreciate it. And from being from Canada, you can't forget Rush. Phenomenal band. They only lived like 2 hours away from us. 2112, an absolute fucking masterpiece of an album. The first song is all on one side, 2112. How great is that? You think they'd be absolutely frickin' exhausted after recording that. But no, side 2 is equally mind-blowing. Fucking amazing. And I gotta mention, All the World's a Stage, probably one of the best rock albums ever. Exit Stage Left was another one they did. That's fucking shit. Compared to this is a must-have for all rock fans. All the World's a Stage, Rush, phenomenal. This is when they were really at their peak and really great. But, oddly enough, with all these influences, I still had no desire to play guitar or sing. I guess I don't... And how unbelievable that this is going to be. The one band that made me want to sing and play guitar. Van fucking Halen. And yeah, I hear him play like, oh, I can do that. What the hell? I don't understand that at all. But it made me want to buy a guitar that had some white fucking tape on it. Bought it for like $150 and played it. But I loved the vocals on this album too. I was equally impressed with Roth's vocals. The screams were fucking amazing. Great rich tone, phenomenal songs. It's still mind-blowing today. And Van Halen has never been able to top this album, which kind of pissed me off. Women and Children first. Came close, but... Yep, saw these guys in 1978, like I was saying, with Black Sabbath. How amazing. Yeah. So this got me into singing and playing guitar. How weird. And here we are today. I actually sang a Van Halen tribute, Styx tribute. So I bought so many other records by the other band. I'm a fan of rock. All rock if it's good. You know, you got Boss and Styx. Then you got Wasp and the first Metallica album. Like on and on. I could just bore you to death with the list. You all know. If you're a rock fan, you know the good shit. So here I am. Yeah, so I'm a self-taught vocalist, guitar player, taught myself, took many years to, I don't even know what made me want to even sing, actually. I always hated when singers started singing on a song, so I was like, you're ruining the guitar riff, shut the fuck up. And here I am being a singer. I think I unknowingly developed my vocal cords because I always hummed guitar sounds, guitar solos. Like I used to walk in the woods going fishing, and I could hum 2112 by Rush. All the guitar parts, the drums, you know, pretty funny. Start to finish. I did that with a lot of songs. I think that, in a weird way, developed my voice. And then, for some reason, I got into singing. Don't ask me. And took a long time to learn how to play guitar. And then, you just gotta get over the mental blocks and you can do it. Develop your muscles in your throat for singing, your hands, fingers for guitar, and you can do it as well. If I can do it, you can do it. So now here I am in the present day, writing, recording, and I welcome you to join me. And we'll cover a lot of that in the next episode. So we'll finish this off here with a song I wrote, and I'll see you next time on The Road to Rock.